Hey, how's it going? This is Time Destroys Everything, Chapter 3 video journal. I just got finished writing it. I posted it once when it was um, like done with 3 passes, and then I came back and I did a fourth one. I believe that's how many passes I did. It's a really long chapter, and it brings together what's been happening for 2 books in a pretty cool way, I think, especially with how um, out of whack, kind of kooky the opening couple chapters were to this. I'm really liking this. When I'm looking at the top, it's like, wow, I just put commas on. I cannot figure out what the fuck I'm doing with human firepower. It's like I need somebody to tell me what to do with that. I just don't know how to look on the front of a book. It's like I want like ellipses of some sort, some kind of symbol or something. I don't know. Just like what do you call it? A point. That's what my brain wants with human firepower, the title. But yeah, obviously I've expanded the Foundry series. There's 12 now. Things are potential to change. I like these names a lot. They mean things to me in terms of leading, and it's just kind of a thing I like doing with this series in particular. It's like every time I sit down to start one of these books, I got all the part titles, or at least half of them. Not all of them. Probably at least half of them. The first one, I got the first 2 or 3 right off the bat, and then yeah, I think Time Destroys. I think Time Throws Fire, the actual Time Throws Fire. I might have nailed that one. But I was like, when I was writing my first book, Justice Years, I did the first like 3. I just kind of realized what I'm doing, which is that I can pull it off. And my subconscious likes the challenge. And it was like when I was going through Gene Wolfe's The Wizard Knight, which I still have. It's one of my few books left. I noticed that I thought he probably made up most of those names right off the bat just to be challenging to himself in a weird way, or a bunch of them at least. So I was just like, that's what I'm doing. I'm just like, I have a big, weird creative brain space that loves this as a way to stretch forward in what's going on. And so human firepower sets the stage. Echo shows up. Rory is a rivalry that was replaying my kind of like schizophrenically entangled trauma relationship. It was an attempt to process it and like release it. And so I can still potentially do that with these books without a hug. So that's what I'm working on, apparently. But what a challenging thing. So the first one I love. It needs a little massaging with the language. I just use too many. I just need to like start the sentences differently. That's the thing. When I look back, I'm just like, and there's gonna be, it's now that I've written all of what's going on in Time Throws the Fire trilogy, which is how I want to refer to it. This might be a novella, like Time Bellows Gasoline is right now on both sides of a novel. Because Time Bellows Gasoline is like under 50,000 words. It's probably only like 42. And that's crazy short for these, because human firepower is 82, kind of perfect. And Time Throws Fire is quite similar. But I don't know, this might get chunky because this is already getting really cool. and I'm just excited to play with it. It's like, it's going to get so hot. So time destroys everything. Everything in Time Bella's Gasoline, and Time Throws Fire was delusion officially. I know it's not going to be believed after this one chapter, but and that's the thing is, if you followed my journals, I'm not I don't know exactly I don't know what's going to happen. There's a part of me. So jumping ahead, if you've read this, Echo comes back, and she has power, right? And as far as I understand it, it's 100% real. And so I'm going to be spending chapters in warfare with Echo being a fucking boss. Because, yeah, there's shit to change at the Foundry before Alaria's fleet shows up, because that's going to be a threat. And so, yeah, she's tearing shit up. And obviously, working some pretty dense mythology in there, and just following my lead on it. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'll be doing another video tonight that's kind of fun, creepy. But why stay hollow? It is a phrase that I got. So I had a really powerful spiritual experience. For better or worse, it was on a Reiki like training, second class situation with multiple women holding hands, of affectionate, loving attention on my body, like my feet, my heart, and my head. And it's just like the practice of doing that with that intention is just like with like 3 people. It took me to a really, I was gone, but I was there. It was like the ultimate meditation. It was just like I transcended. And when I came back, it was like I missed some time. And the only thing I remember right at the end of that was like something. And it wasn't, it was like a spirit energy, right? It was like an embodied feeling energy, like a being. And it, only thing I remembered was it saying, "Why stay hollow?" Feels like a man, feels like a old bearded man kind of vibe. It's just like, why stay hollow? And I popped up. And so anyways, I'm sticking with that one, even though it's weird. I feel like that one's going to be maybe the most spiritually profound one in the series. Fortuna Eterna, I know it's weird to jump forward, but I literally wrote Time Throws Fire, which was originally, I know I'm getting into the woods here, but Time Bella's Gasoline was originally Time Throws Fire, because I didn't know I was going to write 3 of these. But I'm just following the explosion of the starting of this story that I was like, I'm going to land it. I'm going to land it in one book, and it's just not possible. So, and it seems to have come to a cool synchronization with itself, from my subconscious to a way that I can carry forward. That's going to actually sync with human firepower and kind of bring the whole series back to its roots. And that was the thing is too, like I wrote that original Time Bella's Gasoline, and I jumped straight forward to Fortuna Eterna, and I wrote 5 of the best chapters. Those are so great, and it's about, it's gonna root the series back, through time and all these different places connected to planetary civilizations, with embodiments of the Undroth hegemony being corrupted over time as they're corrupting different planets. And Illith's involved in every single chapter. Second half, it's just like wrecking shit. And it's fighting Solomon, which is an Illith of Olmec, officially. So, lore dump. Kingdom done. Nobody could ever convince me to change that title. That's what I'm saying. This series is my baby. It's my baby. I love it so much. And as soon as Time Bella's Gasoline started, the person who Rory was became conflated, and a bunch of characters became involved. And like, because I just can't help but, like, it comes from my subconscious, and I just have to accept it. It's like, okay, this person is in the story. Um, and I do that with people I know, right? And it just draws up, and then I go with it, and then I follow the lead, and then I send Instagram messages if they're a celebrity person. Not to be demeaning if that feels demeaning. An autiste. Um, but I like this. And there's like three characters. They're archetypes for people I know. And they're all conflated, and I'm unconflating them. And Rory, no matter what they started as, is um, the one I'm cracking. Because Alan is a trans man from before that is, they're going to go. And yeah, that's represented in what happened before, which is now metaphorical and planting seeds. Echo has seen the future through metaphor. So um, she's rocking it, and she has power, and that might prove to be metaphor too, but that'll be a big surprise to me. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I think she's just doing wizard, dude. I think she just has power. Yeah, that's 100% it. I'm at least being led by my subconscious to be convinced of that 100%. Like when I killed Echo in Times with Fire, but more. There was a denial space in that. I was like, I'm bringing the bitch back somehow. This is like, why would I ever take out her ability to just chuck people when we're fighting? It's the villains of villains, right? It's like all of the villains are coming back. So I think Time Destroys Everything's gonna be really big. It's just like a boss fight, dude. It starts at the Foundry. I think I'm just gonna blow up Time Bella's Gasoline into something longer. So then it'll be 3 novels. It's almost there, and then I'll have so much more information with where it's going, and I can just make it. I can just make it really. I was really delusional when I wrote that one. So, um, yeah, Pandora's Shallow. I don't know. It sounds hot. Chiron's Lament. It'll be coming back to Boreal after Time Away, and it's my favorite thing. I don't know. I'm just like hot for Chiron. I'm really hot for Chiron. Echoes trilogy. I don't know. Might be Echoes of Ethos, Echoes of Epoch. And then maybe Echoes Possessive Evermore. That sounds cute. She might be dead for all 3 of those. Yeah, and then part 2, Cranberry Blues. That sounds like a butthole. That sounds like a pretty clear butthole metaphor, which I hate, but I saw as soon as I wrote it, and I just write what my subconscious tells me. Cro-Magnon is a challenging word to use. It challenges stigmas of thought that don't make sense, because the actual literal word is about in this story, it's about a mountain on Vermilion, which is a planet like Earth-ish. I mean, there's going to be a million of them, but this one had it sounds like it had a race war, basically, by the connotations of this this mountain's name. But that's where Elliot Harper's from, and yeah. Anyways, it's just like, it's kind of a backwards thing to think it's racist in your head when you look up the actual definition. So I'm challenging that. Bled, crushed, consumed. That sounds hot. I don't know. It came through, and I was like, nice. I like those words. Eighth Warrior. Why the fuck not? Is that one of I don't know what the fucking. It made me think of the Antonio. Is that the Antonio Banderas thing? Is it? I'm gonna have to look it up. I think I might have done that just to make sure. I just trust my. I'm like, I don't care. My subconscious wanted it. You can't own the word 8 in warrior. I couldn't Google this before because my executive dysfunction was too crazy, and I was just like I didn't care. No, it's 13th, hot, perfect. It's not gonna have anything to do with that. I'm just kind of frustrated by stuff sometimes. That like owns words in titles and stuff. You're not supposed to be able to own titles. That was the thing. Okay, so Exodus Fuel Part 3. This is definitely the last chapter of Part 1. That's what I meant. Exodus Fuel Chapter 3. In Justice Sears, it was so confusing on Substack. I did like 1 point, and I wouldn't mind doing that for these, but I just can't do it on Substack. It breaks my brain. It's too hard to search. Okay, so this was challenging. My subconscious was just being a bitch. This is the hardest shit for me to write when it's like retarded. And I was writing this like, I don't know. I started this like weeks ago. And it's like I wrote that first part, and it's just like I hated it. I hated it so much, dude. The body was hot, heated. It's just like her body remembered. It's really perfect now. But the first pass, you can't imagine how terrible it is to write a first pass of this. Because it's just like I made it work. But it's not good. Spelled chic wrong. Just try not to spell it like, I don't know. Maybe I'm not gonna look more shit up. I don't know how you spell chic in Zelda. Takes two, pussy eaters seen through, reflection shown by tails thrown would clear the dome of shattered chrome. It was chrome. Everything was chrome. This is fully the hardest thing to read in the history of the world. If until you get into it, after there's a groove, if you actually listen to the music, the Bad Enough Dude, it's so challenging. It was harder to write. Fear was lost. Paths were impossible. Grasping towards something sent echoes crawling the other direction. Time was backwards. Throughput. Outforced. Straight fuckered. It was now. This was the hardest thing to write in the history of recent times. So challenging. It's just trying to like get me past blocks. It's just like my subconscious is like doming me to write what it wants. And I hate it. And it's like Illith was hottest. Firebrand needed its ass cheeks. Somehow. That needed to be possible, but wouldn't. Tornadoes of rage swirled within the woman. I added that on a later pass. I was just like, I hate this so much. And she was gone. And it's challenging me. I'm dunking on myself because my subconscious hates me because my first pass of a really, really beautiful story that I have that's called And She Fell. I changed it like a coward to Then She Fell, and it just made it such a coward's move. I love that title. It's like a dark Alice in Wonderland story. It's gonna be really awesome. That's the out of all of the stories, that's the one I feel the most bitterness inside for not pushing through. It was like I think it was the first book I started. I think it was way before I even started writing. Because I like republished it, but it like I wrote that like October 2024 or something like that. It was like before I even wrote a couple short stories. Or maybe it was like January, February 2025. Anyways, it was just really early. And then it was just like I wrote 2 chapters and I was just like, shit, I'm in over my head. And I wasn't. I knew what I was going to do. That character was going to be taken by a kind of transy night man through the dark underworld, down winding roads. I have it like written halfway. And then they literally like, go to and I made it work where it wasn't silly, but they get to like a lake and there's like a frog dude who's just like, she gets really weirded out because he comes out of the lake and he's like naked, and so it just like it gets past the xenophobia of this like fallen Alice character whose name I can't remember. Hey, there's something I can't remember. That's gonna bother me, dude. It's a challenge for my subconscious. There's a block there. It wants me to open that shit. But I don't want to get back to that one. That one hurts my guts. But it's kind of hot with the frog dude. He just like is like cooking. That's hilarious. I'm dumb, dude. I have a picture of that frog man. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. I have this AI picture I've used a million times that I made like I I made so much later. I made so much later. And I've been like using it for everything. I think it's hilarious. And I'm like, this is your soul, dude. And I'm just like, you're the frog man, dude. And it's like, it's 100% that frog dude. And I didn't even think how perfect it is to go back and use that picture. I think I just typed it in at random because I was like, I'm gonna do that frog dude. Like way later. Her knife fractured cartilage. It's just all coming back. I don't like it when I have memories that aren't tied to my emotional memories, so I can't draw them up so easily. That's an interesting thing to parse out. Yeah, so getting back to Vice Splice, going fast because I'm like, yep, this has all been crazy. So she's still trying to kill something, right? It was like I was fighting through executive dysfunction. It's like I knew the story was going to be violent, and I was hitting walls in the first couple chapters where I was just like trying to stab something, and I was doing the walkway. If you know my writing, it's like I use that song when I know I'm going to do that. Where it's like, oh shit, we're going to write towards something that's nearly impossible. I have to write to walkway. And it's going to weave my ass through executive dysfunction. I'm just going to push through it. It's a warrior move from the inside out. Cestuous is a hot word for these things. I like finally brought it up right here at the end. Cestuous was gay was another challenging one. I was like, God damn it. It's just like popping bubbles, dude. That's what this is apparently about. It's just like, did you come here to not get reflected at what you actually are? Because I'm gonna just, yeah. While she's still crazy, apparently we're just saying the Cestuous was gay, dude. And we're just gonna not talk about it. There's definitely subtext in here that is infected by my recent grok splurge and what my creative rationality has deemed worthy of further investigation. Ugh. And so then we get to the every reborn part, and it's a really hard transition for the music, and I think this chapter works pretty well without the music too. I do that. I mean, they all work well without the music. It's just like sometimes I get worried that people get distracted, and it like pisses them off rationally because they don't want to listen to it. And they're like, why do you even put this in here? It's like, just ignore it if you don't want it to. Somebody out there's gonna like it because I like it. I'm arguing against rational minds that I don't even ever get comments from. I just assume. Echo Firebrand, Awoke Confused. So this is a book that I already have a half of a first chapter. Yeah, I have a first chapter in. It's called Infinity Particle. It's about a character named Jessica Stormwall. And she has a kind of tag-along helper, mythologizer, like, I don't know, just like a hot girl waiting for her, but that's writing all these stories about her. Those are going to be the perspective that Miriam writes within for those stories. So it's, and each chapter starts with and ends with the tag along character writing in first person. And then it's like, and Jericho Stormwall's just tearing shit up in the middle. And it's hot. It's hot. It's like a war, and so I'm just gonna spoil it. Echo sends him back. Um, I have part titles written for that one, and it's clear it's another time loop. And I was like, okay, time loops are hot right now. We're doing that. I don't even know. They'll always be hot. Time loops are sick in space. This chapter explains some kind of field that makes gravity make sense on the Foundry, which is cool. I have to do that on my pass back through the Foundry, is like make things make more sense scientifically and figure out the orientation. It's like a near impossible orientation. I worked it out more when I have a manuscript copy of the Foundry that I've done a bunch more work on for the first couple chapters, and it has made more sense of the orientation of the Foundry at that unique time when that first ceremony is happening, where it can see everything. Because that made it seem really ridiculous right off the bat, but I had to make it. I had to make it work. Because it's like Chiron has Atreya, which is like its moon planet, because that was all conflated in the first one, spinning in kind of like a pirouette top, where somehow it's locked on the inward side towards the sun in its own what do you call it? The right kind of distance for life. I haven't worked it out yet, but it's something kind of like mystical to the people there. That's how I'm kind of covering the gist on that one. Is it's like so highly divine, it's going to be spiritual when you write through it. I know that I put spiritual stuff in but it's just going to be like, dude, that's the thing I'm really on about. How many non-tidal locked planets have we found that are in a Goldilocks zone? It's a thing for me. It just makes sense. It's like, what the fuck? It's like, this is a special place. So Jericho was lost too. She hadn't been herself since taking the plunge towards leftovers made of war, or war made into lies of rest. Leftovers of war made into lies of rest. I'm nervous at this part because, yeah, I didn't want to write this stuff. But I'm like, my subconscious clearly believes something's going on. Whatever it is. But we're going into this. That story has a character that's like controlling people that have been infected with a kind of mind disease, at the very least. And Echo was a brightest blessing there. Near the end of her journey, she had shown Jericho, by feeling some way back to her own beginning, what they were to do. Jericho would know it in time, being far too misunderstood in part. For laying together in that space felt real was enough to send a woman like Jericho Stormwell back towards the fight. Firebrand spoke the words. I will not see you again in this life, not you, but you will feel me everywhere. I'm a beacon. Hold me inside you and do not fear to hate the monsters you face. I will be fine. I'm going back home to my people. My love. Echo speaks. She's been crazy the whole time. She's going to talk now. Surprise. Yeah, and then the dream is collapsing part is hot because this is like a classic subconscious, like, wow, that came out and I barely had to edit it. It was just so sick. Sometimes I put on the right song and I'm just like, okay, it's Hans Zimmer. yeah, it was just like I knew what I was doing with the music here. It was like we're collapsing back through the portal, and it's going to be hot. We've been walking towards some kind of portal in Vice Splice, right? At the end of time, and you're a fucking reject made whole by lies you twist into yourself. First, you blackened heart of ambered blood. Um, I love calling on the dark blood and then just letting it flow. I don't know who I'm targeting, but it always feels like people who like don't think that I'm a good writer, um, and are being mean to me in their heads. And I'm like, okay, I guess since nobody's helping me, I'll just try and like kill people with how good my words are by like mentally breaking them because they still can't accept that a trans woman is a genius with English. So I guess I'll just make you retarded by your defiance. Um, is this the way you like it? Does that make you feel pretty? Um, so yeah, devious intentions from somebody that has to clear out their executive dysfunction, from people like literally having like murderous intentions of disregard towards my life. It's ridiculous. Alari's fleet needed to end. Galileus would have to be fired up properly. Rory Tyrell was going to find their new home beneath Echo's heels. As Echo came back to her body, she knew exactly how he would deal with it. So yeah, we're crossing the line there a little bit. I'm kind of giving my hand. We're gonna do it, dude. Because we've got Poe. That's the lady. That's the woman. Of cisgendered make. You've got Lauren, who will come back. Machine, who is non-binary. Oh yeah, we've got fucking Ulysses in this story. Yeah, Lauren's still here. They never left. Good, thank God. Um, what's going on? And you got Rory, who's a trans man. Um, so there you go. That's your squad of diversity to choose from, and that's not Echo, who's not going to get murdered. Things I know from the text in here that are under the surface. There's going to be a thing with Hyde, who is a parent, and Echo. Um, yeah, I don't know what it is. I think it's actually going to happen in this as like, yeah, it's like a cisgender man. I just feel like she's actually going to go there in the story with a guy. It's going to be challenging. There's going to be fighting, lots of fighting, and people aren't going to be digging on this. Ryan's going to kill Alan. And oh, there was somebody hot that I knew Echo was going to kill, and it wasn't just Josie. Oh, Echo's going to kill the shit out of somebody, and it's not just Elliot Harper. Um, we'll draw it back up sometime. Some secrets. Smiles were secrets. Frowns the lie. Knowing was coming back in the moment. That's hot. That was so beyond me. I never once until right now have thought about that sentence literally. Some of them come out and I just read them and they ring, and I'm like, yep. But I put my attention where I need to, I believe. Everything that doesn't ring like that is a challenge to go back and to see why it challenged, and then there's something in it, or I change it until it rings. Echo was going to make it hurt, dude. Echo had become the goddess of reckoning, and Rory would taste it first. Yeah, I mean, Echo's going to be a full Christ figure here on the Foundry, because they're infected with some shit, and there's, I don't know, there's technology in the air, and it's beyond the people of the Foundry, and she's gonna make it hot. Binary Sunset, Josie Remnants had been pleading, romance. I always say that in my head and I just never figured it out. You know how you do that in books sometimes. You're just a liar. Those had been her last words in response to Echo's own, something nearly received as a whisper, despite her shouting them underneath enveloping gunfire. I'm going to tell everyone what you are. Echo spoke beneath the sounding of bangs and airborne snaps. Echo took out her carbine sidearm and bolted the woman in the leg, the belly, then stared through depths of Josie's far-focused pupils. I know what you've done, dealer. She was smiling. Echo knew the woman was a lie. So when I use pronouns that could go both ways, I mean it that way. They were both smiling there in my mind. And it's clearly literally like referring to Echo through connotation. Or not, dude. Or not. Not on that one. Sometimes it's just metaphorical. That one literally could go either way. But I know I'm tricky with my language, and sometimes it seems weird. But it's the characters who are on the sliding spectrum of gender. And Rory has, in the Time series, Echo has her to they to her to boy wants to her to kill him as boy. Like there's been some confusion, and it's just been a little bit, not as much as any of the other characters that I have. My delusional characters kind of boy in their mind through perspective. One shot through the brain pan. Should I not put a dash on that? Oh, that's it. Oh, I love it when there's not a brain pan without a dash. That's an official, already well-made English word. One shot through the brain pan sent Josie's mind splaying. It was a painting upon the chrome-plated flooring in that outmost channel of the complex. War rooms were simulations of reality, live fire filled, created for safety of Foundry soldiers in training, becoming ready to fight after such time and stillness of simplicity, and honoring Atreya itself as a peaceful protector. Foundry peoples were preparing to become what they were made for in the most incorrect way imaginable to Echo. Fire was Eden's spout of seeding watering. Fire was Eden's spout of seeded watering. Echo held the source inside. The feminine would rise no matter. And then it's a fight, dude. Brothers in arms. And this is hot, dude. God, it's sick. She's just going full. She's doing cyanide. And somebody said, oh, I got to read that part. This is the part where I was trying to kill somebody with hot words. Don't make me try and kill people by not helping an angel, you idiots. I'm just trying to like break retarded trans misogynistic brains that literally don't think it's possible for me to be a genius by writing stuff that's so beyond them. It just kind of like breaks them inside. So don't be one of those people. Just breathe and be like, it's okay. It's okay. She's better with English than me, than I'll ever be. And that makes me sad. And I forgive you. And please refer to the times where I'm not being a catty bitch about how I'm a genius with English, and recognize that I'm still a highly disabled person. It is not an impossibility to be working from your creative, rational mind and little featherings. This is trying to me sometimes with my logic. There was a chapter in particular right near the end of Time Throws Fire, the second to last chapter. All the V's, dude. All the V's. That's the one, right? Was it V's? It was a hard. It was like a paragraph of V's, dude. Um, it's the when the levee breaks chapter. It's the most ridiculous thing ever written because it's when the levee breaks plays at the end, and it's just like the most quadruple entendre situation ever, and it's so layered, and it's such a maniacally like well structured fuck fest, and it's like it's got like it'll make you come your pants if you're a lady, dude. It will make you come your pants. I'm convinced. Um, it's so hot. It made me feel like I was coming my pants, dude. And I'm a lady, so that's why I do it because I feel that. I'm like, fuck yeah. So she had only come to talk, but simply knew the fight. Rory was determined not to see her. It wouldn't come down to who would let go first. Everyone would but Echo, and that was how it had been meant to go. Finders kept, soldiers wept, cunts would die, echoes fly. That's so hot. Because it works. Cunts is a literal word. And not just a slang insult. So that's hot. Yeah, that's just like taking the myth of like who let the baby go and being like, dude, that was another one of those stupid cautionary tales trying to give you backwards advice. It's like, hold on to the motherfucking baby, dude, when you know an idiot has it. So cyanide birthed in the mind of the boy beside Rory on impact of Echo's thought alone. She knew it easier to take him this way. He was the coward of cowards, some demon from the darkness of his own pathetic demeanor of retarded embodiment inescapable. He was the coward of cowards, some demon from the darkness of his own pathetic demeanor of retarded embodiment in it. Oh, damn, that's hard, dude. That's hard. Let's see if I can actually say that straight up like that. Cyanide birthed in the mind of the boy beside Rory on impact of Echo's thought alone. She knew it easier to take him this way. He was the coward of cowards, some demon from the darkness of his own pathetic demeanor of retarded embodiment inescapable. Ooh, I fucked that one part up, dude. Cyanide birthed in the mind of the boy beside Rory on impact of Echo's thought alone. She knew it easier to take him this way. He was the coward of cowards, some demon of the darkness of his own pathetic demeanor of retarded fucking jeez, that's hard. Cyanide birthed in the mind of the boy beside Rory on impact of Echo's thought alone. She knew it easier to take him this way. He was the coward of cowards, some demon from the darkness of his own pathetic demeanor of retarded embodiment. Some demon from the darkness of his own pathetic demeanor of retarded embodiment, inescapable. Okay, we're doing it one more time. I'm going to fucking nail it. Watch. Cyanide birthed in the mind of the boy beside Rory on impact of Echo's thought alone. She knew it easier to take him this way. He was the coward of cowards, some demon from the darkness of his own pathetic demeanor of retarded embodiment, inescapable. He would try to fire. His brain pan would split onto the deadest glare of Rory's face from its outer explosion. Close enough. I fucked that up a little bit. Up a little bit. Not really. Not really. Kind of nailed it. They weren't anything but a corpse. Rory had killed them all by ignorance. Echo would kill him again, but not from distance. Echo would kill again, but not from a distance. Not the same, dude. So let's talk about that line. Echo would kill again from not. In this scene, she's going to kill the girl in Ryan. Rory rose. She sought to maim. It was a pathetic person Echo saw, some curse now only upon themselves, a coward of cowards to the heart, some victim of victims needing out. Their fist would seek to fly at sprint. Echo threw Rory by air in response. She took them in the grasp of her distant clinch, thrown mercilessly to shatter glass, workings of sheltered weaponry collapsing upon them from what they bought. To O. I like that better without the hat. I'm going to leave the hat. I just messed it up. Echo watched the empire they were a part of, most apparent, demeaning further into Rory's unbecoming towards petty propagations of warfare's wealth. Whatever. Electricity was everywhere. Rory couldn't stand again. Everyone would pay for her insolence to humanity. Echo came right over the top of them and watched down at the man growing within her old friend. She offered him her hand, lowered it down, glowered to her. Oh, fuck, dude. Oh, dude. That's why I fucked that up. Sometimes I change my subconscious display too much and I don't realize I fucked something up. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so we're gonna. Echo came right over the top of them and watched down at the man growing within her old friend. She offered him her hand, lowered it down, glowered to her fiend, so made into that mush she would remake a man for hearts of their future. It was covered in blood. Ryan took it. Sorry I fucked up the second to last one. I really try and not do that. It's updated now. Um, so that's pretty hot. Echo's got powers. She can tear shit up for the rest of the series until she dies, probably at Chiron's lament. Um, and that's how I know stuff. Now I know some stuff to pattern match the rest of the series too, because that's not going to change. That's 12. Um, that's a number I like. So do it to it. I'm going to get back to Coda as soon as I'm done being excited about this. I probably bought myself some leeway to play a video game for 5 minutes and feel good about it. Every time I do something hot like this or make videos where I'm like, wow, I'm really going to convince people to help me. I like order some food I want because I'm like, that's definitely going to work, and it's not going to work. So I'm just like, fuck, dude, I just ordered some Thai food. It's good for me. Helps me, right? To have food that's good. Okay. Anyways, have a good night. Help a bitch, dude. Help a bitch.